Start out saying pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for allowing us to be here today, Lord. Lord, let us handle this county business to the best of our ability. Let us make right decisions for what's best for this county, Lord. And thank you for everything you do for us and all the many blessings. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. 3, approval of agenda. Requires a motion.
Mr. Chairman, can I recommend that, or ask council if they would take off 6D?
Require a motion to amend the agenda. Take off 6D.
I make a motion that we remove 6D.
We got a motion in a second. Second. Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, now I need a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I make a motion to approve the amendment agenda.
Motion in a second.
I second that.
Motion in a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? 4, approval of minutes 5/27/20, regular meeting. Requires a motion.
I make that motion.
Second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? 5, old business. A, Rural Infrastructure Authority grant, sewer upgrades to support new industry, Project Craft, Hoover Engineering Wood, bid award.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we, as some of y'all remember back in the fall, we had Project Craft, which is Hoover Engineering Wood Products. They actually purchased the spec building out there near Lima, Georgia, at the end of Caldwell Drive and Harley's Bridge Road. And we were awarded a Rural Infrastructure Authority grant, which I call RA grant, as you see right there on the first page, $300,000. And then SC Commerce awarded us a South Carolina Coordinating Council grant to go along with this to make up the difference to pay for the engineering and the sewer portion of that for this project here to do that. The project is actually, just to give you a little to update on this, the project's actually it's a 2-phase project. This is phase 1, which the sewer is basically designed and bid out separately, and then we'll also bid out the road and the water that goes with that. The water is, I call it water, but it's just a valve that needs to be put in, and there's a road that actually going to be put in beside this company. SC Commerce gave us a CDBG grant and also gave us a South Carolina Coordinating Council grant to cover all the costs. So really it's no cost to the county. NISA gave us $20,000 toward that project, and then Marlboro Electric gave us $100,000 toward that project too. So between NISA and SC Commerce and the Coordinating Council on this is totally paid for from that project there. The project is moving ahead. I did talk to representatives from Hoover, and they're still moving ahead, even though based on the situation with the COVID-19, they're still moving ahead on that. Only thing I need to do here is get council. We bid the process out, we put it in Ski-Boat, ran it in the local paper. Davis and Brown came in. Glenn Kirby is our engineer on this project here with Davis and Brown. We came and met in the lobby at the City County Complex due to social distancing, so we had it there back a couple of weeks or so, a week or so ago. And the load, you can see we ended up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bids. The lowest bid was Driggers Construction Company, which is located here in Hamer, South Carolina, Dillon County. And basically, Glenn Kirby and I went and Glenn talked to representatives from Driggers, and their price is right. They understand what they've got to do. And Glenn Kirby and I both with Davis and Brown would recommend, and the state does, to hire Driggers Engineers, engineering company or Driggers Construction, to do this project here for $413,349.50. So I'll try this a little smaller. And this meets all the state requirements, and PD Council of Governments, Lisa Previtt and her group will be working with us through this process. Actually, she was in on the project through a phone situation, so she was there to hear the bids come out.
Where's the
Question?
motion?
I made that motion.
Got a motion, need a second?
Second.
Motion second, any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? 5B, ladder fire truck repairs.
I'll let Mr. Gaddy explain that.
Okay, motion.
Mr. Chairman, Council, community, what has happened with the ladder fire tanker, transmission went out in the tanker, stopped it. We took the tanker over to the international shop in Florence, and after they took the transmission out, they got into it and saw the initial quote was $10,326.86. They got into it and saw that we had some other problems in there, and while they were in there, they sent us another quote back to do some additional work while they were in there for $12,000. Went up from $10,000 to $12,920.15. Then after they got the transmission repaired and that part replaced, they found out the EMC valve, the EMC switch went bad in it. So now the thing is up to $16,592.87. Thing about it, we were $12,900 some dollars in the thing, so it's a matter of us getting the approval of the other from $12,000 to $3,900 some dollars to make the total cost of repairing this truck $16,592.87. So we need permission from the council.
What kind of valve is that?
This is an EMC.
What is that?
Sounds like another transmission, don't it?
No, it's not another transmission. It's an EMC, it's electrical, it's the master computer valve.
I believe that's the computer system.
It's the computer system, the master computer system. And they can go out according to the diagnosis from the international place, they go out anytime.
How new is that truck?
That truck is a 203.
How many miles on it?
It doesn't have many miles on it. I think we got that truck as a tanker from Windy Hill. The need of that truck is that if a fire engine goes to a scene and they don't have another source of water, then
That truck, Moses, is number one truck, and the fire department got a grant, bought that truck new, and the county put matching money at that time, like $35,000 to $40,000. That's their number one truck, this truck here. And it, you know, it was bought brand new.
Oh, okay.
It's never used, so.
okay. So they've had it for a long time, you know. It's a large truck and it carries a lot of water. So if they go to fire scene, they really need that truck. And we're in it too deep now to come out, and nobody else wanted to go to the transmission. I went to JP camp, he didn't want to go. I went to Diesel Man, they couldn't do it, so we had to go to the international place.
To replace that truck, with a used truck like that would be over 100,000, over 100,000.
So we done committed about $12,000 in.
We are now already, because we fixed the second thing, now we need to come up with another $3,000 and make a total of $16,000 so we can finish the project.
How long is the guarantee on this repair work? Did they give you a guarantee?
I don't think they did, but it's probably 90 days, you know, probably 90 days. If we don't fix it, we got to buy a tanker. $16,000, we just bought a tanker for Lakeview, or $50,000 for a tanker. And you still might get a used tanker with a transmission problem. So we had the truck ever since it's new.
And right now, I talked to the fire chief yesterday, that other truck that they got from Windy Hill, it's down.
Yeah.
And they found out, they thought it was a fuel pump, now they found out it was trash in the fuel, and they're working on it. And the only truck we got in ladder right now is a fire truck that Town Ladder had that I bought in the 80s when I was mayor ladder.
Right.
That's what they got right now.
We need to fix the truck. We need to come up with another $3,000 or something.
All right, requires a motion.
make a motion to fix it, you have to fix it, or replace it, and we like to fix it.
Got a motion, need a second. Motion and a second, any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? 6, new business flood management study to determine the best course of action in disaster preparedness.
That's me again. Dillon County, we propose a flood management study, and we were awarded a grant to do the study. And the grant was $100,000, and Dillon County would have to come up with 25% cost share, which is $25,000. We've already, Tony said that when the COVID-19 came on the scene and we're back out of it, but we really need to do that study, because if we don't do that study, the city of Dillon is going to do the study, and they're going to use AECon to do a hydraulic study. So we need to do the study of places like where we've done 40-something years ago, Maple Swamp, Cannon Court, Julian Lane, and a couple places in Ladder, Edward Street, Bamberg, and one place in Lakeview. So that $100,000 we're hoping to go a long way, but we need to do that study in order to be qualified for future grants.
What does that study consist of?
It's a hydraulic study, and they will actually come, engineering system will come and do a study of the flow of the water, how the water is getting out the city of Dillon. In the county area. The city of Dillon going to do the city, but we're trying to do the county outline. So it will study the flow of water leaving from the county line out to the Little PD, to the outfall ditches into the Little PD River. I know one was done 40-something years ago with the Maple Swamp. All those places are full. When we get water, we're going to have trouble. So this is an opportunity for us to do that hydrology study. $25,000.
You'd be doing the county-wide study where the city would just be doing it inside the town limits.
Right.
And in that study, it gives you what,
It gives you the flow of the water, you know, why the water is not getting out of the city of Dillon. We need to dig bigger canal. Do we need to clean out these canals?
It'll say why it's not getting out of the lake, you're allowed to too.
Yeah, exactly.
So you saying we gotta come up with 25% of $100,000?
Yep. First thing, after we okay it, then we put it out for bids, seal bids. But like I said, AECon is doing the study in the city of Dillon. They don't have to do like this. And then after we put it out for bids, then we contract with somebody to do the study.
How soon do we have to come up with this?
We don't have to have it right now, but we got to have it at the end of the study. We got until 2021 to complete the study, and the grant has to be finished by that time. But we got to commit that we will pay this $25,000. But some of the time could be in-kind time, like me and Michelle time for scheduling meeting. So we'll get some credit for that, but we still got to commit $25,000.
The question falls back on you, Mr. Finance Director. Can we afford it?
You can't afford not to. If somebody gets drowned, what are you going to say 2 years from now? If Jack retired, we're going to find him.
Mr. Hayward, we know that we have a drainage problem, and if we do the study, which I support the study, but I personally would recommend that we get further into our budget process. But once the study is completed, then you still have Maple Swamp that's stopped up. And for 20 years, I've talked to people here, local officials and all, trying to put some track hose out here.
Right.
Everybody in Dillon knows Maple Swamp needs cleaning out.
Exactly.
We've killed the beavers in there 2 or 3 times, but nobody has put a machine in there. In fact, the Watershed Authority came up here and dissolved, and they left because they couldn't get anything done by the federal people, state people, and the local governments.
Right.
Didn't do anything either. But I think that we probably need to delay the study at least 30 to 60 days. Now, that's my opinion. That's just me. Because of the funding, we need to make sure that Mr. Gaddy is our finance director, he can tell us how our money's running, but I think that it's fairly tight. But Mr. Gaddy, I'm gonna let you take over. and-
Yeah, well, that'd be a good way to address it, and we'll try to add it to the budget, put it in the budget line item. If that's what y'all want to do later on.
Well, that's my opinion, but Mr. Chairman, Mr. Administrator, I'll turn it back over to y'all.
I kind of agree with you, Mr. Wood. We kind of need to see where
You have
our
a
funding's
time
gonna be.
when you got to let them do something to help.
No, we okay right now, but every quarter, we gotta update what we're doing, how much progress has you started, where you're going from it. Because initially, when I first heard the thing, I told them we weren't gonna do it. I said, Dillon had the $25,000. So we were gonna turn the money around and send it to somebody else. Well, and I talked to Tony at the gas pump, he said, we'll do it. He said, because we have until 2021, but we can't keep putting out a report card. It's like your old bill. You can't keep saying, I'll pay you later, I'll pay you later. So so if we go an extended period of time, a few months, I think we'll be okay. I just don't want to keep coming and talking to you all about $25,000 every 6 weeks.
30 days and make that much difference in it, because they can see how what it's doing.
Motion to table.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we table it and put, until we get our budget passed.
We got a motion to table it.
Second.
A motion to second to table it. Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Table 6A. 6B, victory sprayers and disinfectants. Disaster preparedness.
Well, since we have COVID-19 in the whole world now, we're having to do things a little bit different. The school district is trying to purchase 2 electrostatic sprayer, victory sprayer. They are going to put a chemical in the sprayer supposed to kill the coronavirus. And we found out about it, and since we use the schools as shelters. So what we got to do, when we go in there, we're going to have to go in and clean up every day when people are in the shelters. So while we're cleaning up, we need to be able to kill this virus, hopefully in the bathrooms, in the places where the people live in. So we found out that there's a sprayer. It's a pretty sophisticated sprayer. This is I got several pictures of it. This is the way it actually looks. It goes on the back, and you put the BioSQ or either the whole tablet in the sprayer, and you spray it and it kills the surface and kills anything that's on the surface. So not only do we need those sprayers to, they're pretty expensive. They're $2,000 if we want to buy 3 of them. Not only do we need to buy the sprayers to use in the shelters, we need to buy them to use in places like this. So when we leave here today, the maintenance people should be able to come in and spray. And you're supposed to be able to spray on the surface that we have here without it changing anything. You're supposed to be able to spray even on the food surfaces that you put fruits on. So it's supposed to be a pretty effective sprayer, but they're expensive. They're about $2,000 a piece, and the chemical going in them makes them around $2,300. So we want to buy 3 of them. We want what's good about it right now is a possibility now that we can get 50% of the money refund back to the county under something called a supplemented COVID-19 grant, which we got about $15,000 in that grant, but you got to match it 50. They'll match it 50%. So we buy those 3 sprayers for $6,000. We actually would get about $3,000 back to the county. We got to pay for them first, then we apply for the grant, and then we apply for. So I'm not sure how long before we get a refund of $3,000 or the $5,900. They're $2,000 a piece, and we want to get 3 of them. You know. In fact, you can't even get them right now. You got to order them. We might get them in August.
Mr. Moses, that sounds like something we really need, but I think we need to table this until we get a little deeper in our budget and see what we can actually afford.
Okay. Now, one of the things we have done, we've gone out yesterday and bought some cheap sprayer, $35. We're not sure how they're gonna miss. We're trying to get the product that actually, the buy SKU that actually goes into those sprayers, supposed to kill the virus. But we just went to Lowe's and bought a couple of small sprayers yesterday to cost us $215, hoping that we can spray in the county building for now.
I'll make a motion that we table the bid on sprayers.
Motion to table. Second. Got a motion and a second to table. Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we'll table 6B. Thank you, Mr. Moses.
All right.
6C, Administrative Committee Report, Harbor Freight Tools. Rob.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the committee talked, and I talked about Harbor Freight Tools. They were doing some refurbishing their roofs out there at, not all of it, but a good bit of them out there at Harbor Freight Tools, and they were looking to get rid of the rock, and it's not contaminated. I had Steve Moody go look at it, whatever, and they said they would just start delivering it to us at no charge to us. They're going to actually deliver it to us at whatever location we wanted at, which probably put it out behind Public Works right now. But the rock is through. It costs us anything. It's not even, I don't see any environmental issue with it. And they're going to deliver it to us as rock we can use on the roads and ditches and stuff like that. And you're talking probably 50 to 7,500 loads. So you're talking about a good bit of rock. And so this is a big rock that they want to get rid of. And they gave us the first opportunity to see if we wanted it. So I told them, I think it's a good idea. I don't think we need to have a motion on it, but I didn't want to, anybody's got a question, let me know. I mean, I don't see it. I know the committee talked about it the other day, but anybody, I don't know.
Give us a rock.
Those are rock, and they're gonna deliver them to us for free, we'd be crazy.
Yeah, I don't think, I think
I don't have a problem with it.
you see the issue, I don't see the issue.
I don't see any. I think he's just giving you information in case somebody had an objection to it.
I didn't want somebody be seeing trucks go out there and say, well, why is the rock in there from Harbor Freight? Number two, I was going down this, Economic Development Administration. I went ahead and looked at applying for a grant. I asked the PD Council of Governments, there's some money available through the PD COG. And I feel pretty confident since I wrote 8 grants with the COG when I was there and got all 8 of them funded. And I think we can get this one funded too, based on the same premise of what we're doing is we'd like to ask EDA to fund total grants like $120,000. We got a $21,000 match to that grant, but the Tri-County Committee has agreed to come up to fund the match. And what the grant actually does is Lindsay Previtt and I at the COG basically have written this grant together. And what we want to do is, we've had 2 meetings with DOT, we had 1 meeting with the COG concerning the issue. What we're doing is we're looking at from Long Street down to Harley's Bridge Road. We're looking at 4-lane in that section with DOT, working with DOT in that aspect, and also looking at the traffic patterns that come around on West Fairfield and then over to Dothan Road or either Countryside Drive. So we're going to look at the whole, it's about a 6-mile range around where the Ports Authority is. And what this study will actually do is enable us to hire somebody to come in, basically address those issues, tell us what the cost is going to be. This is sort of what DOT has led us to believe that they needed this to be done for us to do that. The Council of Governments has agreed to participate in this study too to help us come up with the money. So I don't need a recommendation now because we haven't got it funded yet, but I like to go out and submitted it in. I don't know if council had a problem be submitting it in with that part of it there too. I think it'll tie into some notes I want to give you about under the administrative report. I'll give you a little bit of update on that. But what it's going to do is basically help the Tri-County Committee if we can get that intersection addressed. It's going to address not only issues with Harbor Freight and Lyman Gordon, it's also going to address the issue with the Ports Authority and the future growth at that intersection, dealing with the quick trips and some of the other developments that's getting ready to take place on the interstate. So, I hate to see us do another study, but I think in the long run, it's going to enable you to apply for additional grants if you've got this study done, and that's what it is. So that's just want to bring it up. I mean, does anybody get any questions about that? It's no cost to the county at this point. Number 3 is just Dillon County government. The Finance Committee or Administrative Committee looked at finance reporting. We're going to do some additional work on, we're going to look at our financial procedures manual, financial budgets. We're going to look at, solid waste and enterprise operations that we've got in the county. And we're going to see, how they're doing financially based on what we're spending, what we're bringing in revenue-wise, what we're spending. So we're going to try to address some of those issues. We're going to look at maybe a capital improvement plan and some other stuff like that too in the future. That's all I got.
Anybody got any questions? 6E, recreation request.
Okay, this is from Harold Moody. He wants to give $500 to the Dillon County Relay for Life and $300 to Dillon County Fire Station 4 out of its recreation account. G. McLeod requested to give $325 to Disco Manning softball team out of his recreation account. Stevie Grice was requested to give $500 out of his account to the Dillon Rescue Squad. That's all of them.
Requires a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? 7, finance report.
Okay, this is as of June 22nd. In our general fund account, we have $2,177,697. Out of that, we have accounts payable in the amount of $1,156,285. Leaves us a net available balance of $1,021,412.
Payroll come out of there.
Yeah, we got one more payroll, 2 weeks.
8, ordinance readings. 8, third reading. An ordinance approving the participation by Dillon County, South Carolina in the partial refunding of certain outstanding indebtedness of McLeod Regional Medical Center for the PD Incorporated issued to refinance, among other projects, hospital facilities in Dillon County through the issuance and delivery of Florence County, South Carolina refunding hospital revenue bonds, McLeod Regional Medical Center project, and one or more series in an agreement amount not exceeding $86,970,000, providing for the execution and delivery of a loan agreement among Dillon County, Florence County, and McLeod Regional Medical Center PD Incorporated, and providing for other matter relating thereto. Requires a motion.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion, need a second.
Second.
Motion and a second, any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? B, first reading, an ordinance to provide appropriation for county purposes to the county of Dillon for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2020 and ending June 30th, 2021, and adopt and implement rates and fees and for other tax purposes and county appropriation purposes, and to establish the tax bills provided for the budget. Title only, requires a motion.
Make a motion to pass the first reading.
Motion, need a second.
Second.
Motion and a second, any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? C, first reading, an ordinance to amend an agreement for the development of a joint county industrial and business park of Marion and Dillon counties so as to enlarge the park.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I got some information. Start with Tim Harper with Marion County Administrator. He said this is as you know, it's a continuation of a park agreement. We've got some properties in with them, and they got some properties in with us. But this particular location is right near the city of Bowen.
here's the property in Dillon County she's talking about.
Well, we've got property that's basically within, with Harbor Freight, Lyman's Gordon, a bunch of other properties we've got in Marion County. So it's all, they've got properties on their side, we've got properties on our side. We only get 1% of this property. Do I?
Just a typical multi-county.
Typical
park deal.
multi-county.
They
They
get
have,
1% on it?
yeah, that's all we get is 1%, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, they get 1% of ours, we get 1% of theirs. It's just an agreement we've got it, and this is the way it works. So that's,
Requires a motion.
I made that motion.
Second. Got a motion and a second, any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? D, emergency budget ordinance. Requires a motion.
Mr. Chairman, due to the fact that the budget will not be passed at June 30th, I would recommend we pass an ordinance, and Attorney Al Berry probably is on that aspect too.
This is the same thing we've had doing a few other years in the past when the budget would not get passed by the end of this fiscal year. This just allows for payment of essential services and supplies until the budget is passed. And anything spent after July 1st will be just credited to that budget when it is passed, is the way it's written.
Requires a motion.
Made that motion.
Got a motion, need a second.
I say,
Motion and a second, any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? 9, interim county administrator report.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I just got a few little quick things I'm going to go over. First and foremost is we did a South Carolina, we did an inland port study for inland port Dillon back when I was with the PD Council of Governments, and of course it was funded by EDA, and the match was through Morrow Development Team, Morrow Electric, and they funded that. So the study is about 60%, 70% complete. It's a master plan study to develop the port, to look at the sites that are adjacent to the port. We're looking at the water, the sewer, the roads, the infrastructure associated with the port. We're also, a part of that port study, I added in there when we got EDA to fund it, was to also address the issue of having the port, have somebody in the study address the industries that would potentially come with a port, an inland port, to address what industries. They hired Mark Williams to do that part. Davidson Floyd is actually doing the study, the whole study, doing most of the engineering part, and they hired Mark Williams to come in, who was one of the top site consultants in the country, to help us develop a list of companies that we think we can target, SC Commerce, and these are going to work with us on addressing those particular ones and working in. I will give the South Carolina Port Authority credit. They basically jumped in on the team. We've got a team of people we're working on that project. Hopefully we'll have it finished by end of summer, first summer. The second study we did about got EDA to fund a water sewer study that was recommended by Commerce. EDA funded it. NISA funded the match of $20,000 for that study. Hanny Engineering is working on that study. They're about 50 to 75% on that too. It's going to address the water and sewer issues associated with economic development, and it's going to also look at the city of Dillon, town of Lakeview, and the town of Latta. It's going to look at their water and sewer capacity. Even though I know Grand Stream is running in Lakeview, we're still going to look at their issues. We're going to look at all three entities of where water and sewer. We're also going to look at new sites where we can possibly expand the water and sewer in those particular sites. Trico Water Company is working with us. The city of Dillon, Lakeview, Latta is working with us. And we're also working together and trying to see what we can do to work together on some projects. There may be some areas that the city of Dillon and all of us need to work together on. So I think that this study hopefully will be finished sometime by late summer, early fall, too. We have 2 spec buildings being built right now. One spec building is pretty obvious when you go out on 34. If you're going out of town, going to the interstate, there's a spec building being built by Equus. That's a national company throughout the United States. They're building a 373,100 square foot spec building right there at you can see that right there by the truck entrance road that goes into Harbor Freight. And that building there will shortly be put up, hopefully by sometime this year. they should be able to finish up on that too. We got another spec building being built on Fairfield Road on the other side of Harbor Freight. It's a 250,000 square foot spec building there. So we're doing that. We've got a couple of projects we're working with Duke Energy on and PD Electric also, in addition to Marlboro Electric, on site certifications for additional property around the port. So we're moving on that. Exit 34 and exit 190 right there, I call Highway 34 right there. We're doing not only this grant we proposed earlier, we've also asked the Ports Authority grant. We got additional funds. We asked EDA for additional money, which they gave it to us, to do a cost estimate of 4-laning from Long Street, what I call Long Street, down to Harley's Bridge Road, across the interstate, and seeing what we need to do. There's some other aspects of property being bought and sold right there at the intersection. So we think we're in a position now that with this study, we've already addressed it with Quick Trips and these other companies and saying, hey, if we do expand there, since you've already bought the property, we want you to go ahead and build in your aspect to go ahead and not build in that right of way. So if we take over the right of way or acquire the right of way, they're already building it in their plans for that. We met with DOT back a couple of times. I want to personally thank Representative Hayes for all of what he did. He helped us on that project there too. But, anyway, so we are moving ahead. We do have some economic development activity going on. So hopefully after this situation with the environment and that type of stuff, we'll see that. We are getting activity associated with the port, though. We're still getting activity associated with that.
Yeah, I got a question for you. Clay, can you check and see where we left off with that gravel? I got a lot of roads in my district need some work.
Okay, yes, no problem. Can I make one other comment of that too? I'd like to, I'm gonna try to meet with the C-Fund committee, which they're the ones that participate in it too. And I know we addressed a couple of things in some other counties I worked in. I know Lancaster County did it way back in the 90s. We started under 2000. They started rocking all the roads back then years ago. I did talk to some people now. I did talk to Sandy Watford today at PD COG, and some of the roads that need to be rocked, we probably need to look at some aspects of soil sampling and stuff like that. So we're going to try to work together on coming up with a combination of the best way to rock it and how to rock it and get it down appropriately. But I'm going to meet with them at their next meeting, and then we'll establish. I'll help push those projects along that's already been approved.
10 appointments. A, Accommodation Tax Committee, District 7, Stevie Grice, Hospitality. I don't have anyone at this time. 10B, Planning Commission, District 1, James Campbell, he's not here. 10C, Grievance Committee, District 3, Archie Scott, he's not here. 11, Executive Session, Interim County Administrator's Contract. Require a motion to go into executive session. Got a motion in a second.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? All in favor?